So Dragon Ball Super episode 21 is officially in the books. So guys, honestly, this was a very fun episode to say the least. I mean, it wasn't one of the best, but it was very eventful and it was very fun and I enjoyed it a lot. I can definitely say that. So I'm just going to give you guys my top thoughts on the episode as well. So pretty much the episode takes place where the last episode left off. The Z Warriors are showing up versus the Frieza Warriors. And did you guys notice? I don't know if it was just me. Maybe I was tripping. Maybe I was just having some flashbacks, some relapse back to the movie. But it looked to me like there was a tad, like a very small amount of CG on those Frieza soldiers. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's just me being crazy, my eyes playing tricks on me. But let me know if anybody else thought that, because they just looked weird in some spots, like they weren't fully drawn. But the thing is, like with modern anime, there's a lot of computer animated graphics. It's not all hand drawn like older anime, but it just stuck out a lot. But once again, that could be me because they were 100% CG in the movie for about 90% of the time. So I don't know, that's just me. But speaking of PTSD, speaking of relapsing, Krillin was on another one in this episode. I mean, Frieza immediately recognizes him and Gohan from Namek, which I thought was pretty cool because in the movie he recognized them as well. But I like how he did it in this a little bit more because he was like, you know, even if you're here, I'll just still come back and keep killing you over and over. And I was like, damn, Frieza is a savage for that shit. And he really spooked the hell out of Krillin because Krillin was sitting there like, yo, I can't even move. Am I gonna die again? And I'm like, come on, bruh. And he was like he was surrounded at one point by all these Frieza soldiers, and he was just like, what do I do? What do I do? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? And I'm like, he's not even realizing that these guys are incredibly weak. He's just focusing on death. And at that point, Roshi's like, hey man, what are you doing? You've seen all these great fighters. There's no way that these guys can hurt you. And like, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You've seen all this shit go down and you're worried about these small fry. And then Krillin realizes that, you know, he's significantly stronger, and then that's the end of that. All the while, honestly, the fighting in this episode was not as good as the movie. It just really wasn't. You know, the whole thing about the movie's fight scene was that it was pretty much for fan service. That's why all these characters got to shine. That was a very action-oriented movie. Apparently Toei and them heard us from Battle of Gods movie. While it was a great movie, it had like 15 minutes of action. That movie was all action-oriented, Resurrection F, and I thought that it was really well executed as far as the Z Warriors fighting the Frieza soldiers before Goku and Vegeta showed up. I love the choreography. I love the way that they executed it. I love how they gave everybody a chance to shine. Like Krillin was kicking ass, Roshi was kicking ass, Jocko was kicking ass, Gohan was kicking ass. They all were kicking ass. Tien was doing the whole martial arts thing. I was like, this shit looks great. Now, in the anime, it's kind of weird because the pacing of Super is just kind of all over the place because a lot of people were complaining initially that it's, oh, too slow, when in hindsight, it was only 14 episodes. That was incredible pacing for an entire saga. Please understand that. And then, you know, looking at Resurrection F, it's going too fast. Like, if you guys didn't even notice in the last episode, like I said in my last review, for episode 20, there was like a 6 or 8 month, I'm blanking on it, time skip. And they didn't say shit about it, so you would not know if you were not paying attention. It's just like you would think this shit happens immediately after, but it doesn't. There's a fucking time skip, and you would not know because they're so busy cramming all this shit in these episodes. And the same thing happened in this episode. It seemed like it was kind of rushed to me as far as the fighting goes. And it didn't give those characters a proper chance to shine. Like, you guys saw my video with Hammer DBZ the other day. If you guys haven't, it is going to be linked in the description if I recall doing it. At the very least, it was uploaded like a video before this one anyway, so you guys should be able to find it pretty easily. And we talked about Roshi, and I thought Roshi kicked ass in the movie, and here, like, he didn't really do shit. None of the characters really did shit, to be honest. They used their signature moves, the Kikoho, the Makako Sapo. Fuck. That always happens when I try to pronounce that in the Japanese name. But like, nothing happened. So I just honestly enjoyed the movie a bit better. As far as some of the other stuff that happened, staying here, Shisami shows up. He does not fight Piccolo whatsoever. He completely ignores him. He goes straight to Gohan, and he gives Gohan a bear hug. And this shit gave me chills, I'm not gonna lie. Gohan was just in the bear hug, and he was like, okay, if this nigga doesn't let go of me, I'm about to go ham. And Gohan was just, oh my god, I love Musako Nozawa so much. Gohan was just like, yo, you know, it's people like you that piss me off. And he was like, I just have my daughter. Shout out to the fact that he just had a daughter. Please, people, just because it's an anime does not mean that shit does not matter. But he's like, yo, I just have my daughter. I want her to be raised in a peaceful environment, have a peaceful life. He doesn't want her to have to be a fighter. And he's like, you know, people like you, when you guys show up, you piss me off. And he was like, you're going to let me go. And Shisami didn't let him go. He's like, okay, so you're still not going to let me go. And Gohan was about to go fucking ham on him. I swear he was. And then that's when fucking Tagoma, who had been given Sorbet the fucking stink eye, something vicious, the stink face, the mug, just the, oh my god, he had the lip poking up in the corner the whole time. Like, that guy is a badass now. He used to be so docile, but he's a badass now. But Tagoma shows up, and he was taking offense to Sorbet calling Shisami the strongest fighter, because as soon as he said that, he heard that shit, he looked at him so fast, I swear to God, it just made me laugh, because he was like, damn, what did you just say? And so what he does is he blasts Shisami in the back while he's bear hugging Gohan. It goes straight through Shisami, and it leaves a crater in Gohan's chest, okay? So this is how Gohan goes down, as opposed to the movie. I can accept this, as opposed to how he got one shot in the movie. It's kind of weird because, like, with the Battle of God stuff, I can't accept how fucking Beerus swung Boo like a fucking baseball bat in Dragon Ball Super, whereas I can accept how he did it in the movie. But, like, in this, I'm okay with the anime versus the movie. Like, the movie was bullshit. This is a lot better. I can understand that. It shows that, you know, Gohan as a warrior is not invincible. It shows how much stronger Tagoma is than Shisami, because even though he caught him off guard, I mean, he still blasted straight through him. And that's going to be a big theme if Sorbet still does the same thing with Goku later on in the series. So I thought that was a lot more significant. And so what happens is Piccolo resuscitates Gohan. And, you know, from there, they give him a Senzu. And the same stuff happens. They all stand up. And it's weird because, you know, in the movie, what's his name? Tagoma was a bitch, yo. He just was gone, like, within the first 30 minutes. He had, like, a total of 5 lines. But in here, they're giving him a significant role. And that's partly because it's spoiler alert, please. In the next episode, Ginyu should be stealing his body, so that's probably why. But it turns out that they did a little bit of filling in the gaps, at least. They didn't show Frieza training, but they gave a flashback to Frieza's training. Turns out that he essentially tortured Tagoma for months on end. Every single day, he tortured him. He used him as a punching bag, and then made him regenerate and heal up for the next day to do it all over again. And that essentially hardened him and made him who he is today, a complete badass. And it also made him significantly stronger, because if you look at Frieza's power spike, the stronger Frieza gets, the more power he's going to be outputting on Tagoma. The more Tagoma's able to withstand that, the stronger he's going to get. So it's like, it makes sense. It really does. So he got significantly stronger, and he is without a doubt the strongest soldier next to Frieza. So, you know, while all this is happening, we're flashing back to Goku and Vegeta training with Whis a little bit more. And it's interesting because, like I said, there was a significant time skip in the last episode where we saw that blue aura spark when those two collided with their fists. And, you know, they still apparently are still training. Vegeta, you know, he may still be a little bit stronger. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because, you know, you know how Goku, when they stopped fighting, Goku fell down, Vegeta still stood up. I don't really know if that signifies anything. It just seemed like Vegeta was pushing himself to stand up, where Goku was like, fuck this, I'm sitting down. It didn't really, I don't know. But either way, they just finished training, and Beerus was like, oh, you guys have definitely got stronger. You guys want to fight? And they're like, fuck that. Fuck that. He's like, you're definitely still stronger. So what they do, and this is interesting as well, they throw those two in a separate dimension, a separate realm, to where they're going to be able to get more training. Now, hopefully we see what goes on in that realm, and, you know, they don't just come out and they flash back to it later. I don't know if they've achieved SSGSS/SSJ Blue yet, but if they do, it's kind of weird. If they haven't already done it, it's kind of weird, because unless that realm that they're in is something similar to the Realm of Spirit and Time / Hyperbolic Time Chamber, then it's almost like they're not going to be able to lecture Frieza about not being able to maintain the form because they never trained in it, because they'll have just achieved it. Whereas if that room is like the Room, Spirit, and Time, they'll have, you know, technically just achieved it, but they'll have spent so much time in that room that they've mastered the form already, even though so much time has actually passed in the real dimension that we're actually in. So it's kind of weird. And on the side note, to kind of contradict that, if they do just achieve it and then they immediately go, all the base form training that they've done, may still make them be able to control that form efficiently, as opposed to how Frieza is just outputting so much power so much that he can't control it. So that's something to look at as well. I don't think anybody said that in their reviews. So after that, this is a long review, so I'm wrapping it up here. After that, pretty much just going into the next episode. Well, actually, one more thing I completely forgot. This is another new thing, and I enjoy when they add new stuff. I really do. Goten and Trunks, as soon as Tagoma spikes his power to go ahead and start fighting the Z Warriors, Goten and Trunks are like, hey, did you sense that? Well, they should have been sensing all these powers the whole time, because Frieza does not know how to conceal his energy, aside from downgrading, like as far as like the transformation stages go. But he doesn't know how to conceal it, so they should have been able to sense all this anyway. But as soon as he powers up, they're like, oh shit, let's go, fuck this. And that's something I didn't expect them to do anyway. Like, I expected that. I didn't expect them to sit back while all this shit's happening. They're just too mischievous. They really are. They're kids. They're too damn mischievous to just chill. So they're gonna be there, and in the next episode, it looks like Tagoma's gonna be kicking ass. He looks like he's gonna kick ass. We already know that he's gonna get his body stolen, apparently, by Ginyu, which doesn't make sense, because I don't know if Ginyu's gonna be able to use the body. But then at the same time, using the body thing with Goku, that could have been simply because Goku had been using Kaioken intermittently so much, and Ginyu probably simply didn't know how to use the technique, so he couldn't bring out the full power of Goku's body. That's the way I always kind of looked at it. So I don't know if he'll be able to control his body, Tagoma's body. So we'll see. And it looks like in the next episode, Gotenks is going to be fighting Tagoma as well. So just I love the new stuff. I really do. Let me know you guys' thoughts on the episode, on the review. This was a great episode. I'm sorry this was a longer review once again. I had a lot of shit to say. But that's it for me, guys. I will catch you guys in the next Dragon Ball Super review. Peace out, guys.